Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Minty Bets, and this is the We Want Picks post-weigh-in show. If you didn't have time to watch the weigh-ins or it was on too late, don't worry. I did it for you, and I will go through the entire card. The official weigh-ins happened at 11 p.m. West Coast time, baby, so it wasn't too late for me. But, as you can tell by the lighting, it is nighttime. This Saturday is UFC Saudi Arabia, headlined by Robert Whittaker and Aliskerov. The main event was originally scheduled between Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker, but as we know, as UFC fans, no matchup is ever truly official until we see the fighter make their walk. I have to point out, though, Aliskerov was scheduled to fight Antonio Tricoli last week at UFC Vegas 93, and Ikram's line was the highest of anyone on that card at minus 1,600, and now, coming in on a week's notice, he's obviously going to be the dog, but I didn't expect for the odds for the main event to be so close. We're seeing Whittaker at minus 155, Aliskerov at plus 130 over at DraftKings. Let's get started with the main event. In the middleweight division, the number 3 ranked Robert Whittaker, former champ and first one to step on the scale. He weighed 186 pounds, and my goodness, Bobby Knuckles does not age, even though he did look a little tired in the eyes, but that's okay. And you know what? This time last year, he was fighting Dracus du Plessis. Now here we are again, International Fight Week. He's fighting again. As for the 2-0 first round finisher, Aliskerov, he came in with a weight of 184 pounds, and the main event is locked in. As for the co-main event, ooh la la, the heavyweights. I love a good heavyweight fight. Russia versus Russia here. The number 3 ranked Sergey Pavlovich versus number 5 Alexander Volkov. These two were some of the final fighters to step onto the scale. Not gonna lie, they look exactly the same to me. The only difference is the hairstyle. However, Volkov looks like if he got a buzz cut, he could also pass as Nikola Jokic's stunt double. Anyway, I'm sure we've all seen that viral photo of Sergey Pavlovich going around where he looks like a goddamn tank. No surprise, he looks amazing at 260 pounds. He's off a loss to Tom Aspinall, but prior to that, he won 6 straight fights, all in the first round. On the other side, Volkov looked quite impatient, and the nerve, sir. You made us wait 2 hours, and you're rolling your eyes? He came in at 258 pounds, and he's starting a streak of his own with 3 straight victories. Next up, we've got a little switch up. Kelvin Gastelum apparently had a difficult weight cut, and he didn't believe he could make 170 in time. So both Kelvin and Daniel Rodriguez agreed to change from a welterweight bout to a middleweight. And as much as I enjoy the higher weight classes, especially seeing when fighters move up in weight, I personally don't think this is fair to Daniel Rodriguez, and I think a lot of people will agree with me. You have ample time to strategize your training, your diet, your weight cut, all of that. And for fighters to switch it up only a few days out is not right. Rodriguez was on track to make 170, and now he has to put on weight with such short notice. Not really fair, because Rodriguez is coming off of back-to-back losses, in need of a win here, as Gastelum is 2-6 his last 8. And this, I feel like, is a Hail Mary, and I don't think it's going to work out for him. I don't know. Gastelum is looking thick, like wide. Not fat, but just he's a stocky guy. He weighed 184.5, while Rodriguez didn't look too happy on the scale, and the man in charge of the scale was taking a very long time, my friends. Even Rodriguez was getting very fidgety in the fingers, but he came in at 184 pounds, and I was definitely holding my breath because I was thinking for sure one of these guys was going to miss weight, but both made it. In the next bout, Shara Magomedov taking on a last-minute replacement, Antonio Tricoli. Mentioning this earlier, Tricoli was supposed to take on Aliskerov last week, but lo and behold, this UFC debut is in Saudi Arabia now. What an experience, though, it must be to have your debut change from the Apex to Saudi Arabia. But unfortunately, Tricoli is one of the largest dogs of the night, actually is the largest underdog of the night at plus 410. On the scale, he weighed 185.5 pounds, and he was cut and gorgeous. While Magomedov was the final fighter, weighing in at 185.5 pounds, and the nerve to have everyone wait over 2 hours to be weighed. It's now 1 a.m. in Vegas. Thanks, Shara. To open up the main card, we've got a pair of top 10s in the light heavyweight division. Number 7, Johnny Walker. Number 9, Volkan Oezdemir. Uzmakappa, baby. Johnny was so active last year, and he came in today with the weight of 206, as did his opponent, Volkan Oezdemir. Both these guys are huge. They look great, though. The feature prelim is a lightweight bout between Morocco's Nasrat Haqparast and America's Jared Gordon. Nasrat looking like a different version of Kelvin Gastelum, and he weighed 156 pounds. Meanwhile, Jared Gordon looked good at 156 as well. In the only featherweight bout of the night, we've got Muhammad Naimov and last-minute replacement Felipe Lima. Lima is making his UFC debut, and he has not lost a fight since 2015, and I believe he is on a 12-fight win streak. He weighed 145.5 pounds, looked good, looked cut, and Naimov coming off of 3 straight wins and weighed 145.5 as well. Fun fact from my good friend Yanni the Greek, over 57% of fighters making their UFC debuts lose. Next up, Rinat Fakhretdinov and Nicholas Dalby. I love Dalby in general, but he is the older fighter by 7 years. And in the last 10 years, the younger fighter with a significant age advantage, like this matchup right here, has won over 65% of the time. Also, thank you, Yanni the Greek. Dalby came in at 171 and looked real lean, while Fakhretdinov is a tall man. He is tall. He weighed 170.5. Kyung Ho Kang and Muin Gafurov face off in the prelims. Kang came in at 136 pounds and looked a bit thin, not like a bad, unhealthy way, but just a really thin build. And Muin also weighed 136 pounds. Side note, this is the very first weigh-in I've watched where people were cheering the fighters as they stepped onto the scale. This definitely does not happen at the Apex, and I don't know if I've not noticed it for out-of-town fights, but I just noticed it tonight. Not all of them got cheers, though, because there were some crickets for a few of them, Kelvin, but most of them got chants and applause, which was very cute and supportive. We are rolling through these fighters here, and there are only 11 fights on the card, very few. I believe we have a really early start time as well, so if you are undecided on your picks, be sure to become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com to unlock all of Angelo's and Jacob's picks, as well as tools on the site you can use to help your betting process. Next, making his UFC debut, currently undefeated in his professional career, Magomed Gadzhiyazulov. Magomed Gadzhiyazulov. Great body, stepped on the scale at 205. He's taken on Brazil's Bredison Ribeiro, who also came in at 205 pounds, and he looked nice and cut. That fight is good to go. Last but not least, 2 products of the road to UFC. Xiao Long versus Chang Li. This will be their first official UFC fight, and they're opening up the night, guys. One of these men is Jacob's Lock of the Week, and that is Chang Li. Both fighters came in with a weight of 136 pounds. That wraps it up for the We Want Picks post weigh-in show for UFC Saudi Arabia. Next week is International Fight Week in Las Vegas, and if you find yourself at UFC X, which is the big convention for fight fans on Friday and Saturday, I will be at the convention on Friday for sure. Not so sure about Saturday. And if you guys don't know what UFC X is, it is a really fun experience. You guys get to meet so many fighters. They're all so cool. They'll all take pictures with everybody and talk to you, and there's just a lot to do. There's tons of games for adults and kids where you can win free merch or cool prizes. Last year, they had a Fuck It Friday food truck and a power slap simulator where I got this shirt here, after slapping a punching bag. So it's very fun. I'm not going to attend UFC 303 itself like Angelo and Jacob, but if you're around the convention, feel free to shoot me a DM and let me know so I can say hi. I'd love to meet you all. However, I will warn you that I am the kind of person to attend events very early and leave very early. So let me know very early. Until then, follow We Want Picks here on YouTube as well as all other social channels, and follow me on Instagram for weird stories, Twitter for betting picks, and TikTok for random videos. Across all channels at Minty Bets. Good luck this weekend.